Hello, 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 everybody. I am Binjay. Welcome to the Creators Lounge podcast. Super excited to have this guest on today. We've known each other for a while. We've even worked on a song together. So let's get into it. My man, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do?
So hi, I am Pxl3r, also known as Pxl3r, as people say wrong. People say that a lot, and I am a DJ from the East Coast of the United States. Pretty uncommon here.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the episode. We got a lot to talk about. So the place I want to start at is what draws you to music production?
So I just find it a good hobby to take my musical talent and just make something that people enjoy and listen to. Everyone that I know enjoys my music, and it just makes me happy to feel that there's a hobby that I'm actually good at. Because that's something that's not common for most people, to find a hobby that perfectly fits them. I basically found music production something out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's so cool to be able to use your talent, the stuff that you love, to make other people happy, to bring value to other people's lives. Talking about music though, how did you get into music production? What was it that pulled you into the world of FL Studio and Ableton and everything?
Okay, so it started one day where I was just bored, and my mom lended me her laptop, and I was basically bored because there was no Wi-Fi or anything. So I checked the applications, and there's something called GarageBand that I've never heard of, and I've just seen people use it, but I've just never even opened it. So when I opened it, I basically made a ringtone, and it was absolute garbage. I actually still have it, and I might pull it up after the podcast. But after that, it was basically
you gotta pull that out, use it a new song.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a redux of that.
Exactly.
It actually had a pretty interesting melody, but it was just all loops and stuff because I didn't know how to use anything. Because I didn't have a keyboard or anything to play on. So it's just basically a keyboard and a loop folder, which was built into GarageBand, which I haven't used in a long time.
Yeah. So how long ago was that, man? Was it a year ago, 2 years ago?
I forgot. It was probably 5 or 4 years ago.
4 years ago, wow.
Yeah.
So 4 years ago, you get into GarageBand. Something about it just stands out to you. And now you're still here making music. What DAW do you use now?
I use Ableton now because it's just a lot better than GarageBand because it had tons of limitations to it for what I can do. Because you couldn't really make good beats in it because all the instruments that are built in were basically crap, and you couldn't load any plugins.
Sure. So Ableton's a lot more. You can add more plugins. You have a lot more control over what's going on, what's happening in the workstation. Yeah. No, absolutely. Everyone faces struggles on their journey to become, successful or do what they want to do. What motivates you to not give up?
Most of the time, supportive people and the community. Because Instagram was one of the main reasons why I got back into music. Because I basically started a music thing on a gaming channel, which seemed out of fit. It was called Pixel Gamer Music or something. It was something along the lines of Pixel Gamer. And so I basically started putting music in there, and then that started falling because I got less and less views. But I brought it back up when I discovered Instagram, and basically from there on, people started seeing that I made some pretty good music, and they're like, "You should release your first song." I'm like, "Yeah." So when I have a struggle, what I basically do is I see what the community wants and see how I can improve from the mistakes in the past, and then I build up on the strengths and limit the weaknesses, and I try and fix the weaknesses and turn them into strengths. So I get better at things that I suck at, and improve the things I'm already good at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, dude. I love that. And there's a few things I want to pull away from it. First of all, you talked about how you kind of made this shift early in your career from doing like the gaming and the music
Yeah.
into focusing on just music. I feel like whenever you're starting off as a musician or any kind of creative mind, essentially, you do so many things. Like you start a Facebook page and then later you give it up, or you start a podcast and it doesn't get a lot of views, so you kind of quit it. Do you think that was important for you on figuring out, that music production is what you wanted to do? Trying so many different things.
Yeah, because basically music runs in my family, because basically a lot of people were like, hey, I saw that you made your first song. How about I come over and I teach you how to play the piano? And that was basically a huge improvement to what I could do. And then that's how I started building up on music, and then started focusing less and less on gaming, and just basically delete all those videos. And yeah, I started to realize that my old music was crap, so I delete all the videos, and then I didn't really post any music that was current on YouTube. Thinking of doing that soon. But I basically turned my past videos into commentary, and I'll explain that later on why I did that.
That's cool, man. I love how you have like people who are there to help you and people who support you and encourage you on the journey. Are you able to do that now with the platform you have via Instagram DMs or Discord or whatever?
Yeah, there are tons of people that are looking to help me with music production, and I am so thankful for the community for doing that.
Yeah, dude, it's so important, I think, to not only have people help us, but also for us to help other people as well, because that's kind of the ecosystem, how we can build each other up, instead of breaking each other down. Talking about walking through difficulties and having people help you, you are someone who's dealt with difficult mental health issues, like depression or whatever. Kind of talk to us a little bit about what it felt when you were at that dark place.
Oh, geez. So, basically, if you go far back on my Instagram, I'm going to refer to my Instagram a lot, sorry.
You're good. You've been doing Instagram for a while, so.
Oh, yeah. Since November of 2017. Which, that's when I started posting cat photos.
Exactly, yep.
Yeah.
2 years back.
So, like, I felt like I wanted to stop making music, but there's something telling me that I needed to keep on making music. And basically, it was like two things telling me what to do. One being like, hey, you need to continue making music, do all these things, and then the other one's like, nah, you gotta be lazy and like not do anything, give up on everything. So yeah, it's pretty crappy.
Dude, that's so difficult to deal with, and I know that I think a lot of us deal with that, like having voices in our heads, telling us do this but don't do this, etc. What do you chalk that up to? Do you think that was like outside influences that were attacking you, like other people telling you that kind of stuff, and it was just playing in your head, or where do you think it came from?
I think it was just myself, because I was starting to get lazy, and that started affecting my music and basically everything I was doing, because I also do art and photography, and that started going down and down. I started posting less and less on Instagram, and then there's some days where I was like, oh, I'm gonna go do music again, photography and all of that, and the next day I'm like, oh, I did too much yesterday and I have to continue that all today, and I'm just gonna give up on it all. And then another day I'm like, oh wow, I can do all this, and the next day I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that at all.
I feel so. It's kind of like a roller coaster. One day you're high, next day it's kind of low.
Yeah,
tell us
basically.
about how did you break through that though?
So, this is.
It's kind of. I mean, obviously you probably did a lot of different things to break through it. What are some of the important things that you remember? Taking.
So basically, setting milestones for what I should do. Like one day, make a good chord progression, and like go outside, take some nature photos, and then I step up from there and like make a good beat for a song and attach it to that chord progression, and just so on and so on until I get a complete song. And then I feel happy about myself, and then that is when I kind of overcame it, and then I started making music again, like no problem.
Love it, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's so smart of you to do that, like those small increments, because it's just like small steps, and then you can make it to the big success. I want to rewind real quick and ask you: was there a certain moment that you decided you didn't want to live like depressed? You didn't want to live lazy? Was there like a certain moment?
Yeah. So this was about last March when I was just sitting in my bed. I'm like, you know what? I'm bored. I'm just gonna go take a walk. So I went to go take a walk, and I was thinking in my head, like, what if I start doing music again, but take it slow and go up from there? And then got help from people on Instagram, and that's basically how I got away from that artist block and depression. It was a pretty rough ride, but at the end it was a nice smooth road.
Yep. I feel you, man. I feel you. And it's so difficult going through that hard time because it feels like there's no end. Like all you can see is like a dark tunnel in front of you. So
it's like a day after another day, and then a day after that, where you're basically not doing anything, and then there's a day.
It feels, like it's getting worse. It's like today was bad, the next day's like worse, and then even worse. It's so hard. It's
so hard to overcome, and I still don't know how I did it all in like 1 week. I think I just started feeling better about myself, started taking care of myself better, started going outside every day, taking long walks, and then started doing stuff I love again. And
absolutely, man. Absolutely. What's difficult, I think, about it is that whenever you do have like that depression or that mentality of like, I can't make it, you don't have the motivation to go out and do stuff. But going out and doing stuff is exactly what's going to help you overcome it. And so, it's kind of like a tricky situation because it's like, I don't want to make music, but if you make music, you're going to feel better,
Yeah, that's basically what was going on. So, like, that was going on, and then I just started making music again, and then that negative feeling of wanting to quit slowly went away, and then it just went away totally.
Fabulous. I really hope that people listening can take from that and kind of, I hope it spurs them on, to take action on their dreams and to not doubt themselves, because we really are more powerful than the voices in our head would tell us, or the people out there would tell us. We just have to have confidence.
The best way to feel better about yourself is nature. Just go outside and you'll feel better.
Dude, I love that. Nature's been a big thing for me. And I think it's funny because I feel like nature kind of gets a little bit like downgraded or like not looked upon very well, especially in like the digital age. But it's really great for someone like me to go out to nature and like I'll just like take deep breaths, and I'll look at the trees.
That helps. Just look at the surroundings around you and just take deep breaths, and it'll just make you feel better.
It really does, man. I absolutely agree with that. I mean, I think breathing is like a core. That's how we live, right? Is through breathing. And so, like, whenever you are mindfully breathing, paying attention to the breathing, like you have more oxygen and you just feel like more alive. So that's another fantastic tip. Absolutely. let's jump into your music, Pxl3r. How would you describe your sound?
Okay, so I would describe it as pretty chill and relaxing and something you would listen to on the weekends and if you're trying to calm yourself down. Yeah, it isn't all that extreme, but it isn't like ambient type of chill. Yeah.
Gotcha. So I'm curious kind of about like when you first got into music, like what was the kind of sound you were setting out to create? Were you setting out to make chill music, or were you setting out to make like energetic music?
This was pretty interesting. I started going out into like the most extreme types of dubstep, like the spinning records and Monster Cat type of music. But because those were my first influences. Because I really didn't have individual artists that were my influences, except for like Martin Garrix and deadmau5 and all that, which, yeah, those were my starting point type of influences. So I basically started making dubstep, which sounded crap because they were all made out of tune loops. And then later on, I was like, so I got this synth that can make some pretty chill yet intense leads. So let me just start making chill music. Which I got Helm at first, which was free. So I really didn't have a budget. Which I found a way which you can connect. It was like a program where you could connect a plugin into GarageBand, but it was an entire process and it was complex. You had to record it on the software, then get it into GarageBand, which now I don't have to do that because Ableton, you can just literally plug it in.
It's interesting what you mentioned about how you didn't have a specific artist. It was more like labels or even...
Yeah, it's more labels.
Yeah, or even YouTube promotion channels, I feel like, because, stuff like Galaxy Music or Hypervolt EDM. And those guys were so important for the EDM scene because they shared so much music, underground music, and it was really influential for artists like you and me to hear that kind of stuff, and get exposed to different sounds and everything.
Yes, it was basically like the promoters that got me into music, and then later on started promoting my music, and then found less and less promoters, and basically I had a community after that.
Yep, absolutely, man. And so to talk about yourself, because you went from making like heavy dubstep to now you're doing more chill stuff. What are like the core things you wanted to deliver with your music, deliver with your sound, deliver with every song you make?
So I wanted to deliver like a nice, catchy type of chill music. Not like the ambient, but like one with a catchy rhythm and beat and all that, and just something to relax to, but not super relaxing.
There's some genres out there, I guess, like maybe house, maybe electro, stuff kind of like that.
Yeah, now I'm starting to make more house-ish music, too.
House music's great. House music is
great. Yeah. House music is amazing, and it's basically what I grew up on.
I feel ya, yeah. That's another thing that's really interesting is looking back at music producers and seeing what kind of music they grew up around. A lot of times, you'll see people who grew up listening to metal and rock, and now they make, kind of aggressive EDM, like dubstep, or rhythm.
I basically started with dubstep, and now I'm making chill music. It's a transition that no one could predict.
Absolutely.
Neither could I.
And that's what's beautiful about EDM, I think, is that, there's so much diversity. There's so many different paths and different sounds, that you can go into. Because EDM, is just an umbrella term. Like, that refers to grimy dubstep. That refers to lo-fi hip-hop. That refers to future house,
Yes. There are so many genres of electronic music now that if you start listing them all, you wouldn't finish until you're in your late 40s.
That's absolutely true. Yeah.
Yeah. There are so many genres. Because now I think there's over, 4,000 now.
Yeah, probably so.
And there's like a new genre like every day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely, dude. And that's kind of what draws me to EDM is just how, you don't have to be tied down to like one
Mm-hmm.
specific sound. There's so much diversity, like I
Yeah.
said. How much do you think that mentality plays a role in your creation process? Like your mental state and how you feel mentally?
So basically, I make this like bright music on days where it's like, wow, it's amazing outside, and I'm just gonna make a chill but bright tune. And other days it's rainy outside and boring, and then I make like ambient type. Like that's how think forgot which song it was that sounded like ambience. It was either that one that I did like a month ago. I forgot how to say it, but it was pretty. Let me explain it this way. It started off dark and scary, and then it got off to this bright violin and orchestral track, which was like, I would say, like a journey through music production.
Absolutely, man. And that's one of the things I respect about your sound is that you are very versatile. I mean, you've done stuff from like future bass, to the other track you're talking about where there was like orchestral instruments. And I think you're even working on some stuff that's hip hop coming up.
Yes, I've been doing a huge hip hop album, which is, I don't know what the release of it is going to be soon. It's going to be soon, but not like tomorrow soon or this month soon.
Just
maybe
soon.
Like this summer. Yeah,
right.
just like when music producers say soon.
Exactly.
It's usually going to take 3 or 4 months. And I literally started this album, so it's going to take pretty long time. 14 songs and only 2 done.
But definitely within this year, I would assume.
Yeah.
All right, so you've already gone through a lot of change in your journey so far, going from like the gaming to going to the music production.
Yeah.
And now you're kind of figuring out your sound. How much change do you anticipate over like the next couple of years?
Hopefully tons, because I think soon I'm gonna buy Serum, which is gonna make my sound design a lot better. Because right now I'm using Ableton Wavetable, which is the same as Serum, but there's a lot of limitations as what you can do. But yeah, so in the future, I'm hoping better sound design, continue what I'm making right now, but better. That's all I'm hoping, and to make a YouTube channel for all this, and most likely find a label that's going to be friendly and willing to post my music, but no problems, and a friendly owner to the
I love it, dude. I like how you said you're anticipating a lot of change because change can be super scary for people.
Yeah, some people are scared of change, but change is a good thing in music because you are going to start off bad most of the time, but that's where practice and time comes in and helps you.
And then change is your best friend because you go from being not so great to being really great as you change. Do you think that you're good at handling change in other parts of your life as well, outside of music?
Yes, I am happy of change, and I like change, because, like, tomorrow is going to be a better day than the one you had yesterday, and so on and so forth, so one day your day is going to be, like, amazing, while the ones in the past are going to be not so good. But depends on the future, which...
You can't predict the
Don't
future.
look so far in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
Don't
love
expect
that.
the future to come.
Yeah, right.
Because
the future never comes. All we have is today, and then tomorrow it'll be today again.
Yeah,
Right,
tomorrow's going to be like today, but different a little bit.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
You're still going to be the same person. You're still going to have the same interests. But different things are going to happen to you.
Do you think that's your perspective on change? Do you think that's something that you had to acquire and pick up as you lived life? Or do you think like you always kind of natively enjoyed changing?
I think it's something I had to pick up in life. Because change was like worth nothing to me. But now it's like, oh, if I practice today and I keep on practicing, over time it's going to start to sound better. So change is good. And time is also good. Yeah.
Love it, man. And it all comes down to what you're doing with your time and what kind of changes you're making, whether good ones or not so good ones. Absolutely, dude.
Because if you're not going to do anything with your time, your future is willing to be boring. But if you're doing good things with your life and spending time on things you want to know and want to learn, then your future is going to be good, and the time that you spent in the past is going to build up and help you in the future.
Right, dude. Right.
Yeah.
And I love that, and I like to remind people that because, it's so easy for us to make excuses and to say stuff like, I don't control my life, or I'm not in control of what happens. But,
because you are control of your
we are, every day we make a choice to get up or not get up. We make a choice to do stuff or not do stuff. And so
make tons of choices in one day.
In one day.
It isn't just built into your brain in auto choice making type machine.
Right. Although it's so easy to go on autopilot. Yeah, it's so easy to go on autopilut because it's all like stuff you know how to do. It's all of a system. You can just follow it. The problem
being lazy is easy. But I don't suggest it because it's like, let me put it in this term. You could either take your time, but you may be a little bit stressed, but have a good future, or you could just waste your life, yet nothing happens to you, which is also an option, but it isn't the best option, and it surely isn't. It's nowhere near a good option.
Sure, man. And I think the two things I think on that is that, like, if people want to be lazy, that's great, that's fine. But like once you start dealing with the unhappiness, or once you start dealing with anxiety, then it's kind of like, well, maybe you should make a change. And so I mean, I love that. I agree with it 100%. Something I want to move into now and look at is kind of the internet scape, the kind of the internet world we live in right now. I think we're definitely in a shifting, kind of changing time for creators online. And one particular topic for us as musicians is kind of the shift from platforms like SoundCloud moving to streaming and digital download sites like Tidal or Spotify or Apple Music. How important do you think it is to have your music on streaming and on digital download sites?
It's a lot better than how it was however many years ago. Because now you could just play a song and the artist that made it directly gets money from your plays. And compared to the past, you had to buy a record, CD, or any of that. Then the record or label company directly gives you the money, and it's a hard process. So I think the new change of digital streaming is a lot better for marketing and music producers.
Yeah, dude, I agree with that. And like you said, let's talk about this a little bit more. You mentioned about how artists can get the money directly. I do feel like money's kind of a touchy issue for a lot of us internet producers. It's like people will either say like, "Oh, I do it for the art. I don't worry about the money," or or complain about there's not enough money. What's kind of your take on making income off of your art? What's your stance on that?
So right now I'm basically doing it non-profit because I don't have a PayPal set up yet, which is another goal for the future. But my perspective on making money off of music, there's some people that are doing it well, like promoting future releases, putting it on social media, gaining followers naturally. But there's some people that are doing it terribly. And this you can clearly see on Instagram nowadays with people going in comments of posts saying, "Nice post, follow me to see content." And it's basically like an auto response, which they're not going to care if you follow them and see their content. They just know that they're making money off of their poor marketing tactics. But in my opinion, I don't think music is made I don't make music for money really right now. I do it for entertainment and just to pass time really, to improve for the future.
Yeah, but like you said, you don't see a problem with making money from music. It just needs to be organic. It needs to be natural, rather than forced. I think that was the point you were making, right?
Yeah.
Love it, man. Another thing right now is the pressure on musicians to be creating and sharing content on social media.
Yes.
You're someone who has been active on Instagram for a long time, like we said, since 2017. How much do you prioritize sharing and creating content for social media?
That's basically the only reason why I get so many plays and so much attention for my music. Because if not, I would get like 1 or 10 plays on a song maybe, and I would have to release a song like every few days or so, which is another crappy way. Because social media is basically the easy way out. Because you have marketing, you have people willing to help, and you also have a way to promote your music that's free.
Yeah, absolutely. I think social media is a great tool, and I think sometimes people forget that it is a tool.
And they use it as like
to waste time, or as an addiction, or just for pleasure. Which if that's what they want to do, then that's what they do.
Yeah,
but I think ultimately it is a tool, and how we use it depends on how we want to use it, and everything. So I think that is important to remember. Like you said, talking about social platforms, I feel like right now, particularly, it is really valued to connect with other producers, to connect with promoters and stuff. Do you do that? Do you do that a lot?
Yes, I do it a lot. That's basically the only way I really met you and Essence and my the label that's releasing some of my music and figuring out a bunch of other people that I met using social media that have helped me overcome all the complications of not understanding some things. But there's been tons. Like, I know that one of your friends has basically promoted my new band, Trio, which is the only reason why it kind of blew up a bit, my first song. Yeah. Right now I think it has like 200 or so plays. I gotta check. But the amount of plays you have really doesn't matter. It's if people are enjoying your content.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm not much of a greedy person on followers and all. I get hyped about a certain milestone, but I'm not like, go follow and I'll follow you back. If you don't follow, you're gonna.
It's encouraging, right? It's encouraging to see people enjoying it,
and
to see that many people watching it, because it's like, oh, I did something cool. Like this helped someone,
Yeah.
So it is.
Begging for followers and plays is a terrible
kind of feels like you're focusing on the wrong things.
Yeah. You're kind of being rude to other producers, but at the same time, it's just annoying and just not going to get you far. Because people are going to like ignore you, report you, and another thing is they're probably going to go on your account and trash it with hate. Because I've had friends that happened to before.
Gotcha. I see. So then it just doesn't work out for anybody involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it difficult for you to start reaching out to people and talking with like basically strangers? Was it difficult for you to start communicating with these people?
Not really. It was pretty easy because social media is a free resource to getting fans and promoters for music. But that's not really the big reason why I joined social media. The big reason why I joined was to just find ways to improve music. And then it just went into promoting, which helped a lot, and using clever tactics to promote your music gets you more followers and plays, and which is pretty helpful for promoting music.
And you've done so well at it as well. I think that you've done really well on your Instagram account, your social media accounts. I want to ask you this: what limits you from being like who you want to be or what you want to be like as a musician? What are the limitations that you can see, that you identify?
So this is probably going to be clear for a lot of people, but at the same time, I don't say this in a greedy way. The limitation is a budget. I don't have a lot of money for music because I don't have a bank account and I really don't have... I really haven't made a single dollar, but I just enjoy making music. But it's a huge problem how much DJ stuff, setup stuff costs. Because I basically rely off of like gifts and allowance from over time.
Things of that nature, right.
Yeah. And just kind of like stuff you find laying around.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Or even just find free on Craigslist or on eBay,
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, dude. No, and I love that because I think the important thing about limitations are that a lot of people could see limitations and it makes them stop. Whereas it sounds like for you see limitations and then you figure out ways to work around that limitation.
Yeah, I find ways to work around having, like, using stuff you already have instead of buying this. There's a way you can replicate Serum using Ableton Wavetable, Reverb, and just other stuff that's already built into Ableton. But there's some things that you really can't work around. And that's when you gotta save up and overcome it. Another problem I've had is improving, which you gotta spend tons of time and stuff, which isn't a huge problem, because music is a huge hobby, and it's a fun thing. But it's just the fact that not many people are willing to help. But once you find a way to find people that are willing to help, it makes it a lot easier.
Sure, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. What ways do you use to improve, by the way? To improve at music production or marketing or whatever?
Usually it's just trying to figure it out myself. But if I have a problem doing that, I research it. And if there's no good articles, I rely on followers and friends.
Love it, man. I love it.
Yeah.
There's so many options available to us, whether it's talking to somebody we know, whether it's doing a quick Google search, or maybe, reading an article online. Yeah, absolutely. It's just you got to be intelligent about this stuff and look into it and, find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up the episode, Pxl3r, let us know, what are you working on right now and what is next for you?
What I'm working on right now, that's a smart question. So I have a new single coming out sometime next month or later this month, which is going to be another single that's going to be in the album, which is coming out next. But I also have a single that's coming out on my normal Pxl3r thing. Yeah, I forgot to say, currently working on a band called Trio. People pronounce it differently. It's either Trio or Trio. And that's basically what I'm currently working on. Plans for the future is the EP on Pxl3r and then an EP on Trio. But that's going to take time. Because this album already is going to take a few months or so. So I just got to work and figure out time where I can just make songs.
Absolutely, man. It sounds like you got a lot of music to make.
Yeah, and I'm already looking at a label which is probably going to release the album.
All right. Fantastic. That's super exciting. So it sounds like you have a lot of stuff you're working on right now and stuff we're going to see roll out within the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Best of luck on all of those projects, Pxl3r. Before we wrap up, we do always do a speed round, which I think you know already. I'll ask a quick question. You give a quick response. Are you ready?
All right. Yep.
All right, man. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. What TV show or anime are you watching right now?
I'm not watching anything really.
All right. What's your favorite song at the moment?
It has to be Blinded by Alan Adams, and forgot what the other person was that made it.
All right. What is your favorite color?
Red.
What's your favorite food?
Oof. Probably chips and salsa.
What is your favorite rest activity?
Don't know by that one.
What's your life motto or a quote that inspires you?
Oh geez, this one's hard. There's tons of quotes, but I think it has to be the plain and simple, never give up.
Love it. What languages do you speak?
Chinese and English.
What countries do you want to visit?
Poland, Sweden, basically most of Europe.
And what is something you want to do that you have never done before?
Travel out of the country.
All right, Pxl3r, thank you so much, my man. Guys, today's episode was really exciting. There was so much we covered, and I can't wait to share this on social media, and I hope you guys hear it and are impacted by it. Pxl3r, before we wrap up for good, is there any last words you want to say to the audience?
Yes. If you're having problems with music, take your time and learn it. And just note that your music sounds good.
All right, love it. And also, guys, you can probably message him or me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever platform you use. We would be glad to answer your questions. I want to thank you guys again for watching, tuning in. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
A horrible, life-ruining disaster.
If ill-advised, it's best.
You know I love you, right?